Wait till the end of this video, because I've added a small tribute and a gentle checklist that can help someone you love. Tonight we're looking at child stars who burned bright and left us far too soon. These were kids who made us laugh, sing, and dream. Then the lights went out, sometimes without warning. Please watch to the last second so we honor them fully. And tell me in the comments which story hit you the hardest so we can keep their memories alive. First, Samantha Smith. She was only 10 when she wrote a brave letter to the leader of the Soviet Union during tense times. "Do you worry we might start a war?" she asked. That one line changed her life. She was invited to visit. She met kids and leaders, and she became a symbol of hope around the world. Cameras loved her smile, but she was still a kid from Maine who liked school and time with her family. On August 25, 1985, she and her father died in a small plane crash in Maine. No scandal, no secret, just a terrible accident that hurt people far beyond her hometown. Samantha showed us that a child's voice can reach across borders. Her story still reminds adults to listen when a young person asks a simple, honest question. Bobby Buntrock. You remember him as Sport on the classic sitcom Hazel. He started at 8, learned lines between classes, and became part of America's living rooms. When the show ended, he tried to live a regular life in South Dakota. On April 7, 1974, he drove over a bridge under repair. There were no clear barriers and his car fell into the water below. He was only 21. No drama, just a heartbreaking failure of safety on the road. Bobby's soft smile is what many people recall. He is proof that even when the fame fades, the kid we welcomed into our home stays with us. Matthew Garber. He was the wide-eyed boy who played Michael Banks in Mary Poppins. He also appeared in The 3 Lives of Thomasina and The No Mobile. Then, he stepped away from acting to be a regular teen. While traveling in 1977, he became seriously ill with hepatitis and complications that his body could not beat. He died at 21. Matthew's scenes still feel magical every time Supercalifragilistic plays. You see his grin, but the young man behind that grin wanted a normal life. That's the part we forget when we watch the movie again. Alexa Kennan. She was a sharp, funny New York actor who worked in TV movies and features like Little Darlings and Honky Tonk Man. She had just finished Pretty in Pink, set to break big, when she died in her Manhattan apartment in 1985 on her 23rd birthday. The official cause was complications tied to asthma. Rumors swirled, as they always do, but there was no proof of anything else. The film was dedicated to her. Alexa's voice felt older than her years, smart, fast, and on a stand that is exactly what made people sure she was headed for even bigger roles. Christopher Pettiott. He was Jesse James on The Young Riders, a charming kid on Star Trek, The Next Generation, and he stole scenes in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. He looked steady on screen, like someone who would work for decades. In April 2000, he died at 24 from an accidental drug overdose. It was a sudden ending for a young man many thought would become a character actor we'd see forever. Christopher's story is a quiet warning. Pressure and access can mix into danger, and help has to come sooner, not later. Dana Hill. She could play teens long after her own teen years because of her size and her famous raspy voice. You saw her as Audrey in National Lampoon's European Vacation, and you heard her as Max in Goof Troop, plus many other beloved cartoons. Behind the mic, she lived with type 1 diabetes from age 10. She kept working as her health grew complicated, then fell into a diabetic coma and suffered a stroke. She died in July 1996 at 32. Dana's work is stitched into so many childhoods. She reminds us that you never know what fight someone is carrying, while they still show up to make others smile. Ricky Nelson. Yes, he became a rock star and a touring act, but he began as a child in the adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, growing up in front of America. He had hits, a comeback, and a long career on the road. On New Year's Eve 1985, the plane carrying him and his band caught fire and crashed in Texas. The pilots lived. Ricky and 6 others did not. He was 45, but his fame started when he was only 8. His life shows how a kid can carry the weight of public eyes for decades, then still leave us suddenly with no chance to say goodbye. JonBenet Ramsey. She was only 6, known too many because of pageants and home videos. The day after Christmas in 1996, her father found her in their basement. What followed was a media storm that never really ended. Years later, DNA testing cleared her family and pointed to an unknown male profile, and the case remains open. JonBenet is different from others on this list because her fame came after the tragedy, but she was still a child in the public eye, and the world learned a hard lesson about rushing to judgment. Maria Jose Alvarado. She was 19, Miss Honduras World, getting ready to travel and represent her country. She and her sister Sophia went to a birthday party and never returned. They were found days later, and the boyfriend of her sister was charged. Maria Jose was bright and driven and talked about a future in public service. Her story pushed many people to speak out about violence against women, not only in Honduras, but everywhere. Genesis Carmona, a model and pageant winner who joined a protest at home in Venezuela. She was shot during the chaos and died at 22. The photo of friends rushing her on a motorcycle became a symbol of pain and courage. She was not a celebrity scandal. She was a young woman who wanted a better country, and her death left questions that families still ask today. Nana Dirksmeyer. She was a college student and a pageant contestant in Arkansas. After rehearsal, she went home. She was found the next morning. A neighbor was tried more than once, but juries could not reach a verdict, and the case remains unresolved. Years later, that neighbor committed other crimes and was sent to prison, but not for Nana's death. Her mother and friends keep her name alive, and local reporters still ask the hard questions. Justice sometimes moves slowly. Memory must not. Gwendolyn, a Swiss model working in Asia. Neighbors heard screams from her Bangkok apartment. She was found with fatal wounds, and her boyfriend was arrested at the scene. Police rejected his early claims and opened a murder case. Gwendolyn moved across borders for work many models do, and her story reminds us that even in busy cities and fancy buildings, the most important safety lines are the ones we set with the people closest to us. Thank you for staying to the end. Take a breath with me for a quick moment of silence for Samantha Smith, Bobby Buntrock, Matthew Garber, Alexa Kennan, Christopher Pettiott, Houston Tumlin, Dana Hill, Ricky Nilsson, JonBenet Ramsey, Maria Jose Alvarado, Genesis Carmona, Malisa Mooney, Geneva Soretta Lopez, Nana Dirksmeyer, Jill and Weather Wax, Gwendolyn, and for every child star whose name we don't know, may their light guide better choices and kinder systems for the kids working today. If this video moved you, please like this video so more people see these stories. Leave a comment with the name you will remember and why, and subscribe for more true stories told with care. Your support helps us keep these memories alive and keeps the conversation going about safety, mental health, and respect.